When I was 8 years old, my mother gave me two things that shaped my outlook on life. The first was a t-shirt. It had a picture of heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali on the front. He had his hands raised above his head back, his mouth open like, ah! And the caption read, "I'm the greatest of all time." The second thing was a Star Wars punching bag. I named him Bot, B-O-T. It stood about 3 feet high, and it would look me dead in my eyes. A little intimidating for an 8-year-old. But I would pretend that I was Muhammad Ali, and I would dance, and I would hit him with a right, a left, a hook, an uppercut. And every time, he would fall over. But no matter how hard I hit Bot, he would always bounce right back up. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and everyone who's ever faced life's defeats, I want you to know that a knockdown does not equal a knockout. Several years later, the lessons learned from that menacing punching bag proved useful in my life. On this day, I jumped down off my bunk bed with as much excitement as a teenager could, ran to the shower, washed every part of my body, even my belly button. Went to my closet, picked out the perfect outfit, looked in the mirror and said, "You look marvelous." Because today I had to be perfect. It was the first day of high school. Grabbed my book bag, and I was out the door. Along my route, I ran into some of my friends, some fellow naive freshmen. We didn't have a clue what we were in for, but we talked about all the things that we thought were going to be important. What teachers we would have, how big the school was, how hard the work would be, and of course, the girls. First half of the day went perfect. I had awesome teachers, met some great friends, even had an opportunity to partake in fine dining. McDonald's. Second half of the day went just as well as the first. We were now exiting the bus on our route to our apartment complex. We were talking and laughing about all the things that we learned that day. Off in the distance, we could see that something was going on at the apartment. We didn't pay any attention. We kept walking, talking, telling our stories. But as we got closer, I noticed my friend stopped laughing. Me being a little confused, I said, "Man, that kid's bike looks just like my bike. And hold on, that family's furniture looks like my furniture." And then it hit me. I saw my mother walking out of our complex, carrying her most prized possession, a black and gold Bible, praying for a little more time. I didn't understand what was going on. How were we being evicted? I took a few more steps. My mom's eyes met my eyes. Her shirt is slumped over. Her eyes began to fill with puddles of water as she looked at me and said, "Baby, I'm sorry." I was still confused. My mother was my hero. She gave birth to me at 16, finished high school and some college, worked 2 jobs when she had to give me what I needed. But on this day, when I looked in her eyes, all I saw was defeat. As I helped her move our furniture from the apartment to the moving van, I just remember thinking, how did the best day of my life turn into the worst day of my life so quickly? That night, we were sitting in our small, cramped motel room, and my mother said to me, "Son, if you want tomorrow, I'll change your school." But at that moment, for some reason, I thought about Bob and how I would punch him in the stomach and he would fall over. Because my mother and I had just got hit in the gut by a financial punch. And life was counting us out. One, how are we going to deal with the embarrassment of being evicted? Two, where were we going to live? We were basically homeless. Three, what were all my friends going to think? They were all going to laugh. But then I remember what Bot would do. He would roll right back up, look me in my eyes as if to say, is that all you got? I told my mother, I said, Mom, I know there's going to be some laughter and some embarrassment, but we're going to be okay as long as we're together. She said, son, you're right. The next few months were very hard. We had very little money, very little food, but we had a lot of love, and we were together. My mother had just got knocked down, but I realized she didn't get knocked out. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever faced life's defeats and been knocked down? Muhammad Ali was one of my childhood heroes, 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. But in order for him to win 3 times, he had to bounce back twice. You see, we're all going to face life's defeats at some point, whether it's an eviction, a divorce, or maybe even a health defeat like cancer. But it's not whether or not you get knocked down that's important. It's whether or not you get knocked out. So when you face life's defeats, I want you to remember my 2 childhood idols. I want you to roll back up like Bot used to. I want you to raise your hands like Muhammad Ali. And remember, a knockdown does not equal a knockout. Madam Toastmaster.